everybody. It's May 8th and it's Friday. Really, the first week of May is already completed. It's hard to tell. I'm not on my normal place today. I have moved up north to our family cabin, which is cold. So you're seeing me wear a jacket. So it is cold in Minnesota, up north, and we say. So, but you won't be seeing mostly me today. You're going to be seeing Ms. Danny Warner, who takes headshots. She's done literally thousands of headshots, including my own. And she makes you look your best, makes you look like you are on your best day, which I just absolutely love and is authentic. So welcome, Danny. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kelly. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Well, if you don't know, I'm Kelly Baltzell, and I'm the CEO of Beyond Indigo Pets. So we're going to get to Danny in a minute. We have our news item first. So we have a little bit of hot tip from you. Google is kind of catching its breath. And the tip today is on Google Call Ads. So Google Call Ads used to be just would call the business. So if the ad was for ABC Veterinary Hospital, you'd be calling ABC Veterinary Hospital, but you wouldn't necessarily have access to the business website. Well, Google has changed that. Google now allows in the ad to put the URL www.abchospital.com along with the ability to click a button and call. This is especially important on like mobile phones, which these ads were really made and generated for. So if you're doing ads right now, which we do recommend to lean into that if your budget affords it, because Google has dropped the price, to also make sure to add your domain name. So that's the news out of Google. But now we're going to get to more fun stuff. So we have Danny, and Danny has photos that she's taken. And I'm going to drop below the screen because there's only so much room for photos, Danny and I. So I get to go, but you can all still hear me. So welcome, Danny.
Thank you.
And Danny's in her studio, which is in Minneapolis. So I know that studio well. It's such a fun space. This is where you create some of your magic, but you also do location shots, which have become a much more popular venue, correct?
That is correct. So I would say about half of my sessions now are on location. And I just noticed that in the last, maybe couple years, it's sort of a trend. People want a little bit more of their workspace or the ambiance or their, kind of their brand in the images besides just like a head and shoulders headshot. So more and more of my clients are having me come to their space, which is really fun too.
It is fun because you kind of capture a bit of an element, but as you're coming to their space or they're coming to yours, I know when I started this process, I had no idea, A, what to expect, or B, what to bring, like clothing wise. Like, you were really good about kind of telling me some of those things. Can you tell our audience kind of like what you tell people about, just how to prepare for a headshot?
Sure. So I always say bring a range of clothing options because you don't really know like what background the photographer is going to be using or maybe the style of lighting. So think about, at least 3 to 4 different options. Bring it like maybe a safe option that a safe option is maybe a solid, maybe a jewel tone color that maybe brings out your eyes or skin tone or that you look, really great in and is really flattering. But a lot of my clients like something fun too. So they might bring kind of like a little bit more fun outfit or maybe as a vet or a doctor or something else, they might, wear, the jacket or something. So, think about a range of wardrobe. And sometimes it's kind of a good idea too to maybe take some test shots at home just to see like how the patterns lay and the necklines and see, if you really like the way it might look on camera. And then, do think about different necklines, like V necklines and scoop necklines always look great. Sometimes turtlenecks do. Scarves can feel like, I love wearing scarves, but sometimes that can be too distracting. And what we really want to see and connect with is your face. And we really want that great eye contact. So the wardrobe should almost be secondary. And then, I love, like, a lot of women that I work with lately, like, have, maybe a sleeveless top or something. I love that, but then also make sure that you have a long sleeves or at least a 3/4 sleeve top. And also typically like heavier fabrics that don't wrinkle a lot as you move. Like if you're a man and you bring a cotton button-down shirt, and that can just move a lot. So one, make sure it's obviously pressed and ironed to perfection before your session. But then as you move, some of those light fabrics can really bunch up and then take away from the session time by kind of clipping it or laying it in place again.
Got it. And then what about people like me who are just, I'm so mentally focused on life, I kind of forget about the face and the hair concept. Plus, I'm just natural curls, which is just a new day. Every day I wake up to the natural curls. They kind of have their life to their own. I
Right.
know you were a godsend in this area because, like, I have one makeup brush. I'm going to totally throw myself underneath the bus here, Danny. You know that I have one makeup brush, and I only know how to use one makeup brush.
Oh, Kelly, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know we've had this
From one curly hair to the next.
but there are people who know makeup brushes, right?
True. Yes. So I love working with makeup artists, but I would say about 40% of my clients hire a makeup artist. Most photographers, at least I am, and many photographers I know, have a good roster of makeup artists. These makeup artists need to make you look like yourself, but on a really good day. It's not glamour shots. You do have to stick kind of with your personality. So maybe, if you like a lot of makeup and you're kind of a glamorous person, then that's cool. But otherwise, it just should be really about you. It's not about the makeup artist and it's not about the photographer. They're there to bring your best self out. But sometimes a makeup artist is great. It's great if you have a blemish or blemishes you may want to cover. Great for evening out skin tone. For professional headshots, using it in for our like social media, our LinkedIn, our websites, it's great to have that really polished, finished look that already says it's very professional. And so a makeup artist should at least stay with you on camera for the first bit just to make sure that the makeup is looking great. So that would be like reducing shine. For men, it's just evening out skin tone. Again, adding a little powder. Never, never, never look like you're wearing makeup for men, of course. But it does offer that really polished look. And then also it's great to have, a little bit of a team on set, at least in the beginning, somebody watching your wardrobe and making sure it fits. I will do that as the photographer, but also it's great to have a makeup artist there just touching up and looking for stray hairs and such.
And I firmly have embraced this with you, and I am actually thrilled with the results. So I think that's really, really good. And then while we were just sitting here and chatting, I was just thinking about my own headshots that I've gotten with you. At frequency, like how often should people do this? Because I know, like, when I'm out on the speaker circuit and things like that, it can be jarring when you see a photo of somebody and then you see them in person. You're like, well, that photo's like 15 years out of date.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Right. So I would say, typically maybe every 2 to 4 years, and just try and have it. I mean, it could go a little bit longer if you really haven't changed your look that much. But it can, what do I want to say? It makes sure maybe it's a different background or it looks like a completely different session. I wouldn't repeat the same look over and over. Like if you shot maybe on a gray background or shot outside, then maybe on the next session do something different, just to really keep that, that it's current and that what they're seeing is really genuine.
And who you are today, whatever that is.
Exactly.
Okay, so the words authentic come to mind, who you are today, and especially like if you're going to be using these headshots for like a job interview, and especially like today in our world, the way it is more electronic than personal, right? Like I know a lot of people are doing interviews through Zoom, right? Because they're not doing it personal and things like that. I would think, and I've seen this with your photos, is the more authentic, the more your personality can shine through. Really, like you said, it represents the handshake or the first intro to who you are.
Yes.
Really does matter, right?
Right. So I would suggest in your headshot session, don't worry about every little detail like, oh, does my nose look too big or do I look this or that? People are really just picking up your vibe in your headshot. It should feel what it's like to be in your present, what it's like to meet you. So remember, when you look at headshots, do you start picking apart the person and like, you just need that great energy, that great presence. It should feel very conversational. It should feel approachable. And during sessions when I'm doing a headshot with my clients, I often cover the whole image of the headshot and just show only the eyes. And I'm looking for that spark. I want to feel seen as the viewer. I don't want those dead eyes and that tight smile. I want to feel like this person is alive, like they see me. It's more important that the viewer feels seen by you than you being seen by the viewer. People are just picking up a quick vibe. That's what it is. So in a way, it's kind of some of the pressure off.
It does. And I think for my final point for today's newscast is just going on my own personal experience is, and maybe you can speak about this, taking headshots if you're doing it right, at least when I was doing it with you, when you're pouring so much vibrancy, which you should be, and life into your image, I think you know you've done it right when you're exhausted in the end, right?
You can be, but you know, I mean, it just depends on what you need. If this is your session, the photographer should be there for you. It's not about how they work. It's about what makes you feel comfortable. So what I loved about working with Kelly when we first met is that she also brought a friend, and that was really nice. Somebody who knows Kelly really well and who's Kelly, you know, Kelly is really comfortable with. But then also this friend can, you know, help Kelly also feel comfortable, but then knows when that's like Kelly's real smile. So work with, you're kind of leading the show, and feel free to work with, you know, how you work. So if you like music and energy and moving a lot, that's great. If you want it more calm and, you know, classical music or no music, then that's fine. But feel free to kind of lead in what makes you feel comfortable. You need to feel comfortable to have an image that's alive with your presence.
I love that. That's just great, you know, because that's just, then it really does capture you.
And
right?
it makes it more fun. I think we have this stereotype of like school pictures, you know, with the photographer going next, next. You know, it should have somebody in your space, have somebody get a range of images. A lot is popular, obviously, is social media content, and then a great headshot that's really clean and simple, and, you know, something with a little bit more background, and, you know, something candid too while you're working. So getting that good range is great. But then that one basic solid headshot with great eye contact, nice lighting is so good for LinkedIn and, you know, for jobs.
You're true. And it's true. And it's awesome. Well, this is great. Now, speaking of photographs, we're going to share a little bit something here, Danny, that the Beyond Indigo team did since it's Mother's Day weekend. We took photographs of us making signs that say Happy Mother's Day. It might be kind of hard to see depending on what device you're looking on, but our team made Happy Mother's Day signs. We held them up while we were in Zoom. A couple of people actually held up their babies because they figured what a better Mother's Day gift than the little ones, which is true, and they're adorable. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there from the Beyond Indigo team. So that's our little shout out to all of you. So Danny, this has been, she'll be coming back up here on the screen in just a second. Danny,
Yes.
There she is. Danny, thank you so much for coming today and giving us
Thank you.
It's
So
been-
fun to be here, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Well, and if people want to, like, you have a lot of headshots. So if people want to see more of your work, they go to Danny, D as in dog, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, I as in igloo, photo.com.
Yes.
And we'll try to put that in the comments too when we post this on Facebook.
Wonderful.
But Danny has different galleries of looks. So you can go and check them out.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.